Just heading off to the gym. Always make myself a wee coffee before I go. A lot of people always ask, do I still drink milk? Well, obviously I don't drink milk, I drink soy milk. Not soy milk, this is actually oat milk. In peak week and when I'm prepping, yes, I do. I drink oat milk because coffee is life, and black coffee really does not do the same thing as oat milk cappuccino. So this is steamed oat milk. There's only 75 mils of oat milk in here, topped up with a double espresso. And I drink that with me as I go, and I'm actually late, but I'm always late, Mark's used to me. Well, not that late, but sometimes a few minutes late. So gonna go now, Gareth, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye. So today starts depletion workouts. Depletion workouts are basically where you start to deplete the muscles of glycogen, hence the name depletion workouts. There's the dog. Come on, buddy. Come on. Good boy. Come on. There's the bud man. See you later. You gonna go and sunbathe? You go and sunbathe. He loves to lie and sunbathe. It's hilarious. No training after Thursday. No cardio after Thursday. Just lots and lots and lots of food. And oh boy, am I looking forward to having lots and lots and lots of food. So recently on Instagram, I put out a question just inviting people to ask me questions about prep or about peak week and what they wanted to know. And one of the questions that was recurring was about how I manage my family life with all of the prepping and all of the work that I do, especially in prep. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit here, because usually whenever I have prepped, or in the past, whenever I have prepped, it is an enormous amount of work, but I haven't actually been running a company the size that I am now. So this year, I really wasn't prepared for how hard it would be to prep and diet and do everything that I need to do so close to competition, as well as run the business. When it started to become difficult was really just the last 4 weeks before the show. And that was simply because I was so busy with live launches and relaunching the Yoga Talks program and with the 4-week shred competitions and everything that was going on in the business that I really wasn't prepared for how hard it would be to fit in 2 sessions of cardio a day, as well as be on a diet. So basically my schedule would be that I would wake up in the morning, usually between 6 and 7, get on the Stairmaster for around 7, do an hour on the Stairmaster between 7 and 8. Then I would have breakfast, cook my kids breakfast because we homeschool. And so I would, the 2 youngest ones who are usually up at that time, I'd make them breakfast, spend a little bit of time with them. Usually then sit at my desk between 9:30 and 2:30, and that's when I get the bulk of my work done. And then I go to the gym between 3 and 4. I'm home again by about 4:35. And then I put out dinner for the kids and I sit with them while they eat, but I never eat with them. My husband and Ryan and the kids, I sit with them, but I don't eat. And then I go and do another hour's cardio, usually anywhere between 6:30 and 7, and that takes me to 7:38. Now, by the time 8 o'clock at night comes, I'm exhausted. And sometimes I have meetings in the evening. So sometimes I'll have like a coaching call at 7 p.m. And so I either have to try and squeeze in cardio before that, or I have to do cardio after that. So that second set of cardio in the evening really is a killer. And it, usually then by the time I finish, and I have a shower and I get organized, it's about 9 p.m. And so I usually try and have about an hour to wind down with Ryan, my husband. Didn't always happen, depending on what meetings and things I had on. Now, people say, well, how do you manage, or how have you managed? Well, basically, as soon as I could afford to, as soon as the business started, making a reasonable amount of money, the first thing I did was hire a housekeeper. I have a personal chef at home who actually is my brother-in-law. So people ask me how I manage prep and home life, that's how. I have full-time help at home, and I couldn't possibly do what I do if I didn't have full-time help at home, and that's the bottom line. So up until this point, I did it all. I did it all myself. I grew the business, I did all the housekeeping, I did all the cooking, and I took care of the kids, and it was extremely difficult, but you know what? I did what was necessary, and sometimes I woke up in the morning and I felt like such a shitty mother, and quite often sometimes when I went to bed at night, I felt like I had neglected somebody that day. But you know, that's just part and parcel of being an entrepreneur and a businesswoman and a mother and a bodybuilder, and all of those things rolled into one. You just have to accept that you can't be perfect. And that's, you know, I remember Gary Vee saying, and I love it, I use it all the time. He said that he likes to throw, you know, some people like to, you know, juggle 2 balls in the air or 3 balls in the air and keep them all up there. He said, I like to throw 76 balls in the air and drop 13. He said, I like the net gain of that. And I thought it was so true. And I'm exactly the same. I like to throw 76 balls up into the air and drop 13 because, you know, I like the net gain of that rather than, you know, throwing 3 balls up in the air and keeping them all there. So that's how I live my life. That's how I prep. That's how I get everything done that I need to do. And I've just learned to accept that I'm doing the best I can in any given moment, and that actually my kids are really happy. They tell me every day that they think I'm an amazing mother. They tell me they love their life, and you know, I think I'm doing okay. And I do apologize sometimes to my kids, and I apologize to my husband for being such a shitty wife, because during prep season it is really, really hard on him. Although he keeps saying that it's not, that I'm doing okay. He's like, I think you're doing great, like you're totally fine. But I just feel sometimes that I neglect him. But as long as you keep those little pockets of family time, which we do, we take the kids out for dinner regularly, we carve out time on the weekend. Like on Saturday there, my daughter and I, we rode the bikes, you know, to the local like little town, and we got ice cream. And we all went, you know, my husband and I went to the garden centre together, and we wandered and we had coffee, and then we went to my sister's on Sunday, and we spent the whole weekend together as a family. And I think as long as you have those little pockets of focused family time and you have them regularly, I think that you're doing okay. Part of the sacrifice of being successful is that you need to work a lot, but then part of the joy of being successful is you get to make money to go on wonderful vacations and have incredible experiences with your kids and with your family, which, you know, which I think is amazing. I totally, you know, own the fact that I fail in many, many, many areas, as well as succeed in many areas, and I choose not to beat myself up over it. So just arrived in the gym to train with the main man who's ignoring me.
I'm ignoring you.
He's ignoring me. He's too interested in his phone. Talk about me. I'm just here for decoration. That's all I'm here for.
Says the girl who's talking under the phone.
Yeah, I'm always like pointing a camera in his face. He's always like, for fuck's sake, get that thing out of my face. What are we doing today, Mark? Depletion workouts?
Depletion workouts, yeah.
Depletion
Wee easy ones. Sit down. Go on.
No legs. No legs. Tuesday's normally leg day. And I woke up this morning and I was like,
7, 8, 9.
I went through all the emotions. It was like, yeah, no legs, no legs. I know you guys are interested in what a depletion workout is, what a depletion workout does. Just depleting the muscles of glycogen, very little carbs going in at the minute. Depleting the muscles of glycogen, so when we carb load at the end of the week, all of the glycogen is pumped back into the muscles and you look nice and full. Except I don't really want to look very full. I want to look not so full, but
Definitely not good.
anyway,
Not as full.
not as full. We'll still follow the protocol. Whenever you start seeing the veins coming out, like I have them too. See, you can't actually see them in this light. So it's the veins on the temples. Whenever you start getting the veins, you know you're getting close. I'm beginning to look a bit like a drug addict. Actually, my face all gaunt.